Okay, so today I'm gonna share 4 questions. One is from last time, and then the other 3 are new. So, okay, let's start with the 1549. So this one, I think, so this one is to find the most recent order for each product. And then we have 3 tables. One is customer table, one is order table, one is product table. And the goal for this one is to write a SQL query to find the most recent order for each product. So let's take a look at the example. So the sample table, we have a customer table which contains a customer ID and the customer name. And of course, then we will have a product table that have product ID, product name, and the price of that product. Then with the 2 information from the 2 tables, we have an order table list. It's a list of which customer by which product at which date, and then we assign each order to an order ID. So from the goal of these questions, it looks like that our driving table will be product or orders, right? Because we want to find the most recent order for each product. The problem is that do we need every product, or we only need a product that have orders? It didn't say. So for most of the time, if they said that the goal is to find something for each product, I will just be using the product as the driving table. And then just in case there are some product that nobody ever buy it, right? So then we need to left join the orders in order to find the most recent purchase date for each one. So it looks like the sample result in here, and the result didn't contain any customer information. So it turns out that although we are given 3 tables, we only need these 2 tables in order to find the most recent product. So now we have the driving table as product. We left join the orders. How do we find the most recent one? So the most recent one means that the order date is a max order date. So this is how I write it. So after we join these 2 tables, we then find a match of the product ID and the order date match to, for each product ID, we find the max date. And then we just do the order by the requirement here. So this is how my way of doing this query. So for now, do you have any questions or comment on this one? So if not, then I have a reason why I choose this one. So the reason is the syntax. And the syntax that I'm wondering is this one. So I used to not knowing that we can write this in a subquery that have 2 columns in it. So I'm wondering if we can use the same syntax for all the different SQL that we write. So I am also familiar with Oracle. So I tried Oracle, and it turns out Oracle actually worked. So the only thing that different from the Oracle and MySQL here is that for Oracle, I need to trim the date. Because if I don't trim it, I can show you. So somehow, if you don't trim it, it will show the timestamp too. It will show like hour, minutes, and seconds. So I have to trim it in order for it to work. But somehow in Oracle, this syntax works too. Then I try MySQL. So it turns out that MySQL won't work. That one won't work. So to cope with that, if you notice that I still drive by this product table, and then I left join the order table still, but in order to find the max state, I need to left join again this subquery so that I got a product ID, and then I got a max order date, and then in the where clause, I have to do an AND to match the order table's ID with the maximum ID, a maximum date ID, and then the maximum date match to the order date. So this is why I choose this question, because I think, because originally I didn't know that we can write SQL this way. So I'm just wondering, other than this way, is there any way that we can write it? It turns out that this is another way that we can write the same thing. So the logic is the same, it just looks different. So okay, this is why I share with you guys with this question. So, but now, do you have any other questions? So if not, then we can move on to the next one. So the next one is 1596. So it's trying to find the most frequent order product for each customer. So now we have a customer table. We also have a order table. Then we have a product table. So the goal of this question is to find the most frequent order product for each customer. Okay, so now it's similar to the previous one. So are we doing our driving table as the customer? It turns out that I did not. I use product. Why? Because there is something saying in here that we need only the customer who order at least one order, which means we do not need each customer. We only need the customer who show up in the order table. That's why, although this is similar to the previous one, I did not use this and then try to use customer as the driving table. Because of this condition, I then use the order ID as a driving table. So where is the order ID as a driving table? Why do you don't see this in here? Actually, the order is in the CTE, which is here. So why do we have this CTE? Actually, for this CTE, I'm just trying to find the most frequent order product. So most frequent means that the order count is the highest. So for this one, I use the order table, and then because it's for each customer, it's not the order of, it's not the rank for the entire order table. It's the count for each customer. So for this, we either need an aggregate function or a window function. So I choose to use window function here. So I do a rank, and then I partition it by order ID, and then I order by the count of the order ID. That means for each customer ID, I try to count how many orders of each product they have. And then I do a rank, but the rank is in decreased order. So which means the highest rank will have the most count. So this CTE actually give me, so let's run this first. So this CTE actually gave me the customer ID, the product ID, and the count of that order. So which means the customer one buy product 2 once, customer one buy product 1 twice. Not twice. Actually, this is the rank. So the highest rank is this one because customer one buy product 2. Let's see, customer one buy product 2 once, twice. So because it's twice, and then I count them 2 times, and then I do a rank on the decreasing order. So this is rank 1. This is rank 2 for customer 1. So with this CTE, I can then join with the product table to get the product ID and product name. And then the rank 1 is we only need the most frequent one. So this is how I tackle this problem.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you go back to the previous?
Yes. This one?
No, I mean, just to run the window function.
Oh, okay, just to run the Windows function.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
So you have a customer 1, and the second column. The second column is product ID.
Yes, yes. So 1 is customer ID, 2 in here is the product ID, and the third one is their rank.
So the customer 1 bought the product 2 more frequently than bought the product 1. Is that the way? Is that how we should interpret this?
You mean the rank in here?
Yeah, we have a. So yes, for customer 1, it has rank 1 and rank 2. And
okay. So let's say if we show the count too. Okay, now you can see.
Okay. So he bought the product 1 for 3 times, and
yes, that's why it's rank 1.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and if you and the customer 1 bought product 1 once, so it's rank 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and then these both have count 1. That's why it both rank 1.
Then which one did you choose?
I don't choose because I think the most one will both show. So you see the end result, because they all rank 1, so you have to show both.
Okay, got it.
And that's one of the reasons that you use rank. Because some people might use limit 1, but the problem is that if you use limit 1, you will miss one of them in here. So that's why in this condition you need to use rank.
Right, and yeah.
Okay, and then okay. So do you have any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, so and the reason why I show this, I choose this question is because that not a lot of people are comfortable with using Windows function together with aggregate function. So by using a Windows function, you need to remember to partition it. But then when you use yeah, when you use a aggregate function, you need to remember to group by, and then people are okay with that when you put the aggregate function outside the window.
I
But
see.
a lot of people are not used to put aggregate function inside a Windows function. That's why I choose this one, because I think this is a pretty good one to remind ourselves that we can actually use a aggregate function inside a window function as long as we know what we are grouping by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think, although this one is just a mid-level question, but I think this is a good one to remind us that we can actually do this.
Yeah. Yeah. That is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So do you guys have any other comments on this one? If not, then we can move on to the next one. Yeah, but I think this is a really good thing to remember that we can do this.
Sure.
Mhm.
Are you recording? Because I saw a recording sign on the left or right corner.
Oh
The
yeah,
left.
I'm recording just in case.
Uh, sure.
You guys okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this is actually quite easy, but I just don't like how we approach this. So it's a movie rating. So we have a movie table, we have a user table, we have a movie rating table. So the goal of this question is to first find the name of the user who has rated greatest number of movies. In case of tie, then you just return the smaller one. So this actually tells you that in case there is still a tie, you
Mm-hmm.
still need only one. So it's a little bit different from the previous one. Previous one, in case there is a tie, you need to show both. But
Yeah.
for this one, in case there is a tie, you do an order again, and here it comes up again. So that's why you see the limit one in here, and I didn't use the rank like the previous one. So okay, so there's another goal for this question is to find a movie name with the highest average rating for a certain month. Again, well, in case of the type. So um, we have a, so this is our example. So it's just give you, so these two tables just give you the name that match to an ID. So we all know that the most important one is the movie rating table. Okay, and this is the result table. So from the result, you know that you need two rows, and it doesn't mention that you have to order by any specific order. You just need two rows. So no matter what, the result is two rows. First one is a user. Second one is a movie. So I think this is not one question. This is actually two questions, and you just combine the result into one. So it's I don't know why they do this one. Okay, so for the first one, greatest, of course, we find the count, and then we need distinct because from the example here we see that there is a user who rate the same movie twice. I'm not sure if it show up in here. 313221. Okay, so it's not in the example, but I know that some people actually rate the same movie twice, so that's why we need to count the distinct. So for this one, because we only need to return one result, so I choose to just use an aggregate function, and then we put the aggregate function in the order, and then this second one is in case of a tie.
Okay.
So and then we inner join. So these two is pretty similar. So basically, movie rating are always the driving table, and because you need a name of the user, so you inner join with the user. Because you need a title of a movie, that's why you inner join with the movie. And then both don't have any where clause. Well, this one have a where only because I need to know the February 2020. So the point is that I think this is something that I also need to practice more. Like, I don't know, for me, it's a little bit weird that you put your aggregate function after your group by, right? So I always forgot that I can actually order by something that is aggregate function. I'm used to use having, like having count something equals to something. But I always forgot that I can also order by an aggregate function. So that's the reason why I choose this one. So, and because I think combined with the order by with the aggregate function and a limit one, which makes the entire query really simple. So if you don't do an order one, if you don't do an order by count something, I think I will probably use the similar approach to this one, which will make the entire SQL really ugly because I probably need a subquery and then I probably need a CTE. But when you know that you can actually put an aggregate function in the order by and then you can use a limit one to find the highest one, I think this syntax makes this logic looks really simple. So I think this is something that I learned here. So this is actually the first thing that I learned here because originally I was trying to write this logic like this one. I do a subquery as something and then I find the highest one and then I do a select on the CTE. So and then it turns out actually I can do this. So this is the first thing I learned in here. The second thing is still I need to remember to remind myself that union all. I need to remember to use the all because these two results actually won't duplicate. So we actually don't need to uh, filter out the duplicate record. So if we use union all, this will run faster. Of course, now we only have two results to union. So no matter you use union or union all, it will be still probably the same speed. But this is still something good to remember. When you know the result that your union with will not have a duplicate, then you always use union all, not union. So this is the second thing for these questions that the reason why I choose this question.
I remember you brought this point last time when I present one of the tests, and have you actually tested out how big is the difference between the union and union or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you just quickly check here so that we can have an idea how much faster?
Oh, but the how much faster it's really related to how many duplicate records that you have.
So if there is no duplicates, then it will be the same velocity. I mean, it will be the same amount of time.
I think. Well, for this one, you probably won't see the difference. Let me try.
Yeah, let's see.
Let me try.
Okay. Well, I know even with the exactly same code, you submit twice, you might have some difference.
Yeah. So for this, for things in LeetCode, you probably won't see any difference.
Oh, we do see.
So no. But union all is supposed to be faster, but it turns out it's slower.
But it's much slower. Can you just do it again? I mean.
Yeah, but if you run it twice,
can you do it again?
hit it wrong.
If it's more than.
Yeah, you see, so actually it's hard to test the speed on LeetCode because it's not consistent.
And can you just do one more time without all?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's still faster. I don't know why. Yeah, it's consistently faster. Yeah, but theoretically, Union O should be faster because Union O, you are telling the SQL engine that you don't need to check the duplicate. Whatever you have, you just list it. But for Union, after they list the result of the both query, they need to check one by one to see if there are duplicates. So there is one more thing to do.
Basically,
So yeah,
for union, it does a union or and then did a like a distinct function.
yeah, just like this thing. If you don't use this thing, it will always be faster. But this thing, you actually need to filter out the duplicate. So this thing should be slower.
Yeah, theoretically,
Yeah,
looks
should
like
be. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is for this one. And the last one is the one from the previous time. But actually, didn't find I didn't find any good solution for using variable. So I just tried to. So I actually uh, find an article. I will post this link in the WeChat later. But I actually have this article showing you how to generate a sequence without loop. So there are several ways. Use numbers table. So you insert this into DBO numbers. This works, but not working in LeetCode. And you cannot, yeah, so this won't work in LeetCode, but this is something that you can do in your daily job.
what is
And
EBO dot numbers?
I think it's a predefined table in the database where that you can insert a number into the table.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will probably, yeah, I will share the links in the WeChat, and then you can read it later. So for this, so there are ways to use DBO numbers, and then you use something called SPT value. I think this is, I'm not sure about this one. I think this is for MS SQL Server only, because
Okay.
yeah, maybe. So there are several ways. But and there, so this all object is probably for every different kind of SQL. They all have this one. So but why we have all those different technique? The reason is that, okay, but the state STE is what I'm using in here. So I will show you later. And then the last one, of course, is the recursive CD that we already tried last time. Okay, so but the reason why we need this or this or this is because, so for example, for this question, we want to generate a number from 1 to 100. So the one thing that you can do in your daily job is that you can just find a table. You know the table have more than 100 rows, and then you do a row number in that table and only return the row number, and then you limit the row number to 100. Then you automatically generate a number of lists from 1 to 100, right?
Yeah.
But for LeetCode, for example, for this example in here, they only have 3, right? So that's why they use those type of different tables. So those type of different tables are the tables that they know that will definitely give you more than 100 rows. So I guess, so you see, they just use row number over those things, right? So you probably don't need this kind of table in your daily job. Any table that you know the number exceeds the number that you need, you can use that one, and then just use this trick, return the row number on that, and then you will get. So you don't need the recursive CTE or anything to generate 1 to 100.
Can you go to that link again?
Yeah, I will show you. I will
What
send
is n equal?
Yeah, let me show in here first, and then I will. Where is the chat?
I'm not familiar with the n equal row underscore number. So this look a little.
Oh, I think this is for MS SQL Server. But anyways, you can just
So does it mean does it equal to like a row number Sn? Is that the same?
yeah. Well, it's just trying to use the n to be as I
To
think
be
it's
row number? So,
yeah. It's just trying to tell you that n is the row number. I think the
row,
syntax.
row
I'm
number.
not familiar with the syntax either, but I
Okay,
think yeah. Yeah, but I will share the link later in
sure.
the WeChat, yeah, so that you can also read that.
Okay.
So I think the technique I'm using here, because in LeetCode we don't know if there's a table more than 100 rows, so I use this technique. So the technique is just stack CTEs and then you do a cross join. So did I show the cross join? Okay, I use the keyword join, but actually I can CROSS. So I'm just using a cross join. So in here, I union the 1 10 times. So CTE1 has 10 ones.
10.
And then when you do a cross join, it's 10 times 10, it becomes 100. So
Smart.
that's yeah. So that's what it means stacks STE. So if you do a cross join, you can control. You see, you cross join, you become 100. If you need 1,000, you cross join the first one and the second one, you got 1,000. So I
Yes.
think this is pretty smart. So
Yes.
that's why I use this one in here. Yeah. So other than the CTE part, the rest is just the same with the one we already know last week. Yeah. But this part is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then still we use row number. So again, you can use row number on any table that you know you have enough row, then you don't need to do this. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I want to share for this week. Do you guys have any other question or comment on this? Well, if not, then that's it for this week. Too bad we only have 3 of us in here. I guess everybody is busy, but yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
very, yeah. I really appreciate your effort to put together the questions you feel the lessons you've learned worth sharing. So I think that is very good. I also learned a lot from kind
okay,
of
thank you. Because some of them are probably only my own problem. Like I just rarely think of I can put aggregate in the order by. I know a lot of people know this, but for me, I know this too. I'm just never think like it's not my first instinct of doing any question when I do this. So
yeah,
my first
exactly.
instinct, yeah, I will do this. I will do this and make it really ugly. There's a subquery here, subquery there, but by doing this, you don't have any subquery. I think this is good. So yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah, I
what I
totally agree. There are a lot of concepts or knowledge that we were aware of, but we just might not naturally think about it when we
mm,
face the real problem. But
yeah,
if you try to emphasize it, I think it will be like more um, easier to be uh,
yeah, yeah,
recalled when you're actually trying to solve the problem. So I think this is good.
yeah. Okay, then thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Could you also share these 4 different question numbers in the WeChat session as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually put it in here
Oh,
and
cool.
in here.
I see, I see. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess after this, I will just go ahead and do it.
Okay, okay. And then I will share this one in the WeChat.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.